Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And let me see who was here first. Emma D, thank you so much for being here first. Mad World, Fancy Fancy, Mary H, Lydia Washington, Nola Thondo, Nian Denny, Regina Mercedes, and who else? Mary H. Did I say that already? Yes, I did. Uh, Carol Lunn, Vivian Green, Felton LaShawn, and a bunch of other folks. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, I got to get my slides up. Okay, it is coming up. We had a tremendous storm that went by, and I'm afraid my plants got toe up out there. I was so disgusted I couldn't even do anything with them. I got one of the pots got blown away, and oh man, it looks like a disaster movie. But yeah, it was like I heard this really heavy wind. I heard a couple of things crashing around, and well, there goes all my hard work. And I just watered everything very early this morning. So, yep. I I got some work to do in the morning. All right, there we go. So there was a taste test, Prince Harry's Halo Trust. I could not find the speech anywhere. I don't know if that will be available another time, but I could not find the speech anywhere. So I tried, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to share it with you all. So I guess if I can find it, maybe tomorrow, I will. I will do that tomorrow. Okay, let me see here. And okay, let me see. Hello, Joan Garcia, Hazel Jones. Prince Harry returns to Angola to champion a mind free future. I say amen to that. Oh, let me turn my ringer off. Remember what happened yesterday? Um, okay, a mind free future. Where did I put that? Oh man, I lost the darn link. Oh man. Oh well. Oh, I know where to find it. I know exactly where to find it. Bear with me for a second here. Let me see. Oh, cool. Yeah, Prince Harry's all over the news. All the different newspapers and uh, television news and such. Prince Harry is everywhere today. I love it. Um, Including, well, I'll show you that later. Um, Man, and I had the information right there. Not good, not good. Bear with me for just a second, please. Oh, there it is. There it is. I got it. Okay. So this is, of course, from the Sussex's website, right? It says the Duke of Sussex has concluded a landmark visit to Angola where he renewed his commitment to a mine free future and honored his mother's powerful legacy with the Halo Trust. Nearly 3 decades after Princess Diana um, brought global attention to the dangers of landmines, Prince Harry walked in her footsteps and alongside Angola's leaders to support the country's efforts to clear the final remnants of war. So, and of course, you know the story about how, let's say, there's a area when the kids are out playing or someone is trying to farm some land or something like that, they come across these landmines that have been buried, and some people have lost their legs. Some people have suffered blindness, I think, and it's and of course some people have died. I have to tell that part of it too. But these are anti-personnel landmines. They're there to stop an army. They're there to stop an insurgency or whatever. So they bury them, and of course, nobody keeps track of where they are. The whole point is that you don't know where they are. Um, but a whole generation could be maimed or killed because of these landmines. Let's see, continuing legacy of comparison and action. As a father of two young children, it breaks my heart. Oh, these are his words. It breaks my heart to see innocent children still living and playing next to minefields, said the Duke after participating in a landmine safety education session in the remote village of Mawano. After us have a no, I'm sorry, all of us have a duty to protect children and future generations from the harms of war, both present and past. Now, there are some beautiful photos. Now, this one is from 2019. That one is from 2019. Um, you can tell from the suit, this is before the influence of Meghan on his wardrobe. She was still, you know, trying to get him a little more GQ. And of course, again, you could tell from the cut of the suit, this is pre Meghan. Not to disparage our prince, but you can tell that is pre Meghan. That's a pre Meghan suit. Um, but like I said, she was getting them there. Let's see. Continuing the session part of Halo community outreach program saw Prince Harry repeat safety instructions in Portuguese, teaching local children how to recognize and avoid landmines. The very land where they play um, once an active minefield that the Duke himself walked back in 2013, now transformed thanks to years of dedicated clearance by Angolan men and women trained by Halo, the Halo Trust. And of course, this is the more update version of Harry. As you can see, that suit is impeccably turned out for him. Um, Not to make fun of Harry, but y'all know what I'm talking about. There's Harry's had a bit of a polish since Meghan fell into his life, and well, let's just say he'll never be the same again. Here's another view of the suit from yesterday. Look at that. Look at that. Very handsome, Harry. Very handsome. See there? Uh huh. Nice, nice. Okay, and that is I think that goes back even further than 2019. See there, no beard. He doesn't have a beard there. Okay. All right, let me get back over to today. Ah, I love this photo right here. Love that photo. Partnering for Angola's future, the Duke visit coincide the Angolan government announcement of a new 3-year commitment to support landmine clearance, reinforcing its role as Halo's largest single donor in Angola during a meeting in, it's called Luanda, with President João Lourenço. Yeah, João Lourenço. Prince Harry praised Angola's visionary leadership. This commitment is about more than removing deadly devices, it's about unlocking potential in a country that has so much, enabling children to walk to school safely, allowing farmers to grow crops, attracting sustainable development, and bringing back wildlife tourism. This renewed partnership builds on earlier support announced during the Duke's 2019 visit with Halo. Since then, over 20,000 landmines have been cleared in the Condo Cabango region alone with the support of Angola and government. Can you believe that? 20,000 landmines have been removed since 2019. 20,000. That is staggering. I don't even know if the army is that big. 20,000 landmines. That's scary. I mean, with that many, I have to ask the question, how can you know that you got them all for certain? But they have a way of doing those things. So anyway, yeah, I think I'll leave it there. But if you want to see the rest of this, do go to the as no, I'm sorry, to the Sussex.com, and that will take you, of course, to the Archwell website. And also, I do recommend that you put some traffic through that Archwell website so the Sussexes know how much we appreciate their official updates, because that is, you can't get more official than that, than to go to the Archwell website. But you can reach that by just going to Sussex.com, and you can find the Archwell website, or you can find Archwell Foundation, and then of course Archwell Productions. So both is linked to their business and their philanthropic sides of things. So, all right. All right. So let's enjoy the rest of these images, like this one right here. Looks like he's having some fun with someone who's got a big grin on his face there. Ah, that's very nice. I want one of those Halo Trust hats. That is very cool. I want one of those Halo Trust hats. Is there any way I can get one of those Halo Trust hats if anybody from Archwell or Halo Trust is listening? Now, I would definitely wear that. I would. I'd rock that big time. Okay. Which reminds me, something that I haven't done for a while, but I think I'll do that right now. Okay. I am going to put the official Royal Sussex business address. I haven't shared that in a while, so while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and post it. And I'll just leave it at the top of the chat Well, actually, I'll can I do that? No, I can't. Ah, that's okay. I can't find it anyway. You would think I know what it was, right? But I don't, since I don't live there. Oh, it says I got too many files up. Okay, so I need to get rid of something to add something. Got it. There you go. That's the official thing, but I'll put it back up later. All right. And here's another one of the photos from yesterday or earlier today. Look at that global leader. Look at that global leader. That is living large and taking charge, Harry. And right there, getting all suited up. And on his way to the new area that was cleared, I would think, because at this point he doesn't have his face shield on, but you can see those red placards on either side. That lets you know that you don't want to go beyond that point because, as far as I can imagine, that only your safety is guaranteed if you stay on that path. That's kind of scary, isn't it? To know that you could just stray off of that path and lose a limb or worse. So, yeah, on either side, that is the danger area. One must walk through that path. Otherwise, you could be in danger. It says right there children should never have to live in fear of playing outside or walking to school, said Prince Harry. Today, the Duke of Sussex joined us in Angola to meet families living near Africa's largest minefield, 28 years after his mother brought the issue to the world's attention. So 28 years ago, since the People's Princess visited that area. What a commitment. Okay, and remember, they were sulking yesterday because it was reported that Prince Harry is expected to give us a speech. To give a speech on Tuesday, though the British press has been denied entry. They have been denied entry because you aren't welcome. You aren't welcome at all. That's what they told them. They say you aren't welcome. Nicole Tannis, thank you so much for the super sticker. Oh, wow. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. I love that profile pic you have. I love that. That is very cool. Okay. And of course, that was yesterday when Harry first arrived. As you can see, Chris Ship with a P, not a T. See there? Chris Ship with a P, not a T. The Halo Trust confirms Prince Harry's arrival in Angola and his meeting with President Lorenzo, which the charity says is part of its aim to create a mine-free country. Angola agreed to keep funding the Halo Trust demining work for another 3 years. I think that should be funding to keep funding. He put keep finding. Yeah. That should be keep funding. Sorry, Chris Ship with a P, not a T. Little typo. And look at there, Japan News. Prince Harry is in Angola to raise awareness for land mine clearance, repeating Diana's 1997 trip. And then there on the right, I do believe that is the Daily Fail. Looking at that font, I think that is the Daily Fail. And right there. Prince Harry's arrival in Angola today to support the work of the charity Halo Trust, which is dedicated to clearing landmines, a cause that his mother, Princess Diana, blah, blah, blah. That kid I got cut off there. But yeah, that was the top photo right there. Is Princess Diana putting her face shield on. And even Good Morning America. You know, I love this. I love the fact that all of this attention for Prince Harry, and you know that Lord Baltimore or Prince Baltimore does not get this type of attention ever. He just doesn't. So this is a very pleasant thing when that happens. Let me see. I'm going to play the sound, of course.
Having to sell it. I don't think I've.
Oh my goodness, not that one. Okay. I'm going to play the sound. Why did that come up? Sorry about that. Okay.
We're going to turn now to Prince Harry on a mission to raise awareness about the deadly danger of landmines around the world, following in the path of his mother, Princess Diana, who championed the cause as well. Maggie Rulli is tracking the latest from London for us, and good morning to you, Maggie.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, this morning, Prince Harry's in Angola, retracing the footsteps of his mother from nearly 30 years ago. Now, guys, he's there solo without his wife, Meghan. He's working with the Halo Trust, an organization that works to clear landmines from around the world. And it's the exact same organization that his mother, Princess Diana, worked with when she went to Angola in 1997. And guys, you remember those striking images of the princess in a flak jacket and helmet walking through a cleared path in a live minefield. Those images made only more extraordinary by the fact that she passed away just later that year. Well, now her son, Prince Harry, is back in Angola, a place we know is special for him. He's visited before. Guys, I was there with him on that trip when he went in 2019 to walk the exact same path his mother walked. And I will never forget the emotional weight of that moment. Everyone in the crowd just fell silent. I was also on that trip that he met with a woman who had lost her leg in a landmine, the same woman his mother had met with all those years ago. Well, guys, today's trip by Prince Harry is a chance for him to continue on this mission that's so important for him and to continue working on his mother's legacy. Guys,
Truly following in her foot.
Okay, and that, of course, is what she just spoke about, is that image right there. So, yes, it was 2019 when he met with that lady, the same lady that his mother met with all those years earlier. And I tell you, it's just so heartwarming to see the deep respect that Harry has for everyone. I mean, you could live a lifetime and never meet anybody like Harry, and then when you do, the fact that he has enough respect for you to get down at your eye level rather than standing over you and such, something which of course has been adopted by other members of that family. Of course, Princess Diana being the first to actually reach out and touch people and meet them on their level. It's hard to believe, but before Diana, the idea that people would be so open with the public like that coming from that family was unheard of. And remember, Diana, that is, was criticized for it, just like all of the things that they were so critical with Meghan, and now is commonplace. The way that Kitty dresses and go about carrying out her official duty, where she's more casual, more approachable, all of those things happened because of Meghan. Other than that, it was still when the Sussexes left, it was still 2020. It was the early part of the pandemic. And there's Kate in one of her amazing coat dresses up in Scotland and other places. She's all but abandoned those coat dresses unless it's say the Troop and the Colors or the Commonwealth Day, those kind of events. And of course, it's in the church. So yeah, you do want to dress up anyway. But she's all but abandoned those coat dresses. She used to wear them everywhere. It's a whole new day. Thanks to Meghan. She can be a little less uptight. Of course, Meghan gets no credit for it. They pretend like Meghan is the one following in her footsteps. But my point is, a huge change for that institution came about because of Princess Diana, and that change continues because of Meghan. Kate hasn't done anything to change things for women in that family. Not a single thing. All she's done is toe the line. She doesn't have enough personality to change anything. Unless you need some time off from work, that she can give you all the... If you need to take a sick leave, trust me, she's got more excuses to not show up than anybody I know. Typhoid Mary hasn't been convalescing as long as Kate. And of course, this is from yesterday. That is that image of mother and son. And don't forget, yesterday, this one actually looks like she's just kind of walking a little bit ahead of him there. But yeah, so I love that. I love the fact that all of the American news outlets is speaking about it. Well, really, the world press is speaking about it. So that is cool. Hey, Lex, glad to see you here. Compton Cali Gal, Terry H, Maggie, Sharon S, Gwendolyn Daniels, thank you for being here. Cookies and cream. And over there on the left, Sky News, Manila Times. I didn't know that this would be such a big story in the Philippines, but there you have it. And of course, the Daily Telegraph. I'll tell you, I'm like a proud parent with Prince Harry. Aaron, a podcaster, had a male staff, knew Harry and William as kids. He said Harry was always giving, loving, and warm, but William was stiff and very businesslike, I could imagine. Yeah. William is a company man. He is a company man. William is not naturally generous with his time or just about anything else. He is very accustomed to being taken care of being attended to. So, but thank you so much for sharing that. I am not surprised at all. Thank you for the super chat and for being a member, of course. And take a look at the difference. Viva la différence. Take a look at that. You have that very buttoned down, boring William with his double-breasted suit, lazy Katie. Now compare that to Prince Harry. Out amongst the people, real people that just needs for someone to know, need to know that someone cares about them. That is a huge difference. All of their princely duties that they have over there in Kensington Palace, it's really self-serving. It's only for grabbing headlines. But since Harry was there in 2019, 20,000 landmines have been removed. $20,000 landmines. The only thing of significance that William has done as of late is he has stopped charging not-for-profit organizations the fee that they were paying to use parts of the Duchy of Cornwall's properties. I don't even know if that generosity extends to the tenants that live in those cottages and homes. I've heard no mention of it. None at all. Uh-oh, there we go. Now we are going to move on to the As Ever. As you can see there, thank you for the most magical birthday basket. Our friendship is a gift, as is your beautiful soul. And that is from, okay, it's covered up on mine. Let me see here. You guys can probably see it, but I cannot. Let me see, who is that from? I can never get her name, so I'm going to just try it here. Jamie Kern Lima. Yeah, Jamie Kern Lima. Oh, that man. I'm sorry, that name confounds me. Jamie Kern Lima. That's the only way I could say it. I have to say it really slow like that. But anyway, she's a nice lady. That's the basket that she received. It was in a box, one of those wine boxes. And I believe they use, anyway, they etched the label. I guess they kind of burned the wood or something like that to put the thing on it, but I don't have a picture of the top of the box. And that kitchen, well, that is just some artwork that I thought I would put there to, I don't know, give you something pretty to look at. That is a vintage kitchen, isn't it? Yeah, it is. The only thing that I don't see is the ice box. Yeah, but it looks like a watercolor. No. Anyway, as you know, I like to share a little artwork here and there. Oh, she was on Shark Tank? She's so nice, though. I couldn't imagine her being on Shark Tank. You know what I'm saying? She speaks so deliberately polite and sweet. I could not imagine her on Shark Tank. You know how they have the music all suspenseful and everything when they're making the deals? I just don't see her fitting into that, but I suppose she could. She had a very inspiring story about getting her product on the market. Very inspiring. I have to say that even though I think she's extremely soft-spoken, she is a shark where it matters. She is definitely a shark where it matters, and she managed to get that business off the ground. So you cannot come for her. She is definitely pretty sharp. The taste test. The taste test. Those similar. Oh God, sommeliers. There we go. I knew I can get it. They had a taste test, and as ever, Rosé came out on top. It was number one, and of course, it must be true because who actually sponsored this taste test, this blind taste test? It was the New York Post, a Murdoch paper. Yes, a Murdoch paper. I mean, look at there. You got what is that? Miravo, Hampton Water, In Vivo. Oh, that's Sarah Jessica Parker, isn't it? And Hampton Water, that's oh gosh, who was that guy? Bon Jovi, John Bon Jovi and his wife. And let's see, Aveline and As Ever. Look at As Ever looking just as classy. Now, I have to say that second bottle from the left, that is a very, I like the glass. I don't much care for the label. But yeah. Anyway, I am so proud of Meghan. So proud of her. Oh, thank you, Lydia Washington. I will put that at the top of the chat. Yes, that is the business address for Royal Sussex. Okay. So that is just oh gosh, I hate to say it again. That's the Somalias. Sima-yippee-yi-yay. Those are the people right there. Anyway, they had a blind taste test, and I could play the sound bite, but it was a bit incoherent, and it's like 5 minutes long. But let me see. If it's not making sense, I'll stop it.
We're going to be sampling a bunch of celebrity rosé.
I'm sorry, it's only 3 minutes long.
Is with New York City expert sommeliers. We have Meghan Markle's new As Ever rosé tasting up against some other celebrity rosés, such as Aveline by Cameron Diaz, In Vivo by Sarah Jessica Parker, Hampton Water by Jesse Bon Jovi, and Miraval by Brad Pitt. Excited to give them all a try. This one is a little pink, salmon, but maybe a touch pinker, but still salmon. We call it Salmon Plus. Oh.
Oh, this is interesting.
That's much more like tropical fruit.
Yeah. Really nice acid, but it has that roundness to it.
It's definitely richer.
Yeah, it's a little more complex. This
Yeah.
is interesting.
It almost has like a touch, if you really look for like cherry or like red fruit on the finish.
There's almost like there tastes like there might be like a little bit of oak on this one actually.
Right? You got a little coconutty.
Rosé good for mallow? I don't know. There's like that kind of banana note to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Very
it's
tropical.
tropical.
Yeah. So this you could drink on its own or like paired with food. I think it could go either way. Enjoy it.
Either way.
You could enjoy it both ways.
This is the most interesting one so far.
Yes, definitely.
I agree.
More complex. If it came in a Magnum, I would serve it at our Magnum Mondays at Cathedral for sure. Pair very well with like French Mediterranean food.
I wonder if the celebrities have a, like actually a say in producing this wine, like get into the formula.
I hope so.
Because I think I think they do. I would think highly of that person. It's like a rosé.
This one gets a star from me.
Let me just interrupt and say, you can tell which one of them is kind of shady already. Put it in the chat if you know which one is the shadiest. So let me just tell you, the one that well, actually, you can't tell which one of the guys is which, right? But the one with the white shirt, that is the one who just said, I wonder if the celebrities have any input about what goes into the bottle. I guess I just told you who I think is shady, right? I think I just told you who I believe is the shady one. And of course, it's him. He is shady AF.
Number one is Miraval. It's Miraval.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they are fighting for it. Brad and Angelina.
They are. Yeah. Hampton Water.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, Hampton Water 4. Okay.
4. We said that. Oh, 4.
Yeah, we agreed on that.
Said it. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the last two left. Cameron Diaz's and Meghan.
No way is Meghan from number 3.
Meghan Markle's. Number
Really?
number 3.
Wow.
Wow. Good for it.
Did you hear that? No way it's Meghan's. I'm going to play that again.
Interesting.
Oh, had the word 4. Okay.
4. Oh yeah, we said that. Oh, 4.
Yeah,
4.
we agreed on that.
Said it. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the last two left. Cameron Diaz is and Meghan.
No way is Meghan for number 3.
Meghan Markle's number
Three?
number 3.
Wow. Wow. Good for her.
I had a feeling it's California. It has that like.
Well, look at the logo. It had that coconut.
Oh, does it?
And I said it's very coconutty.
Oh, palm tree. Yeah.
You tasted those notes. It's a coconut. Wow.
She did good with the labels. Good for her.
So Aveline was number 5,
It was, yeah.
and then SJP was number 2, and Miracle was number 1. Oh no! Don't show that's SJP. She definitely reads the New York Post.
You guys are thinking bad about her stuff.
Where is it so much? Did not Vega.
Okay, well, it,
You can cut that out.
Ain't that something? They sure got quiet, didn't they? They sure got kind of quiet. They just didn't want to give Meghan the glory. Yeah, all of them are kind of shady. But anyway, it is a Napa Valley Rosé and is from 2023. And of course, the name is As Ever Rosé. Meghan Sussex As Ever. So Duchess Meghan's As Ever Rosé came out on top in a New York City Post blind taste test. So congratulations, Meghan Sussex. And of course that deserves and as I said, I forgot who said it. Meghan's reputation is on the line. There is no way that anything that comes out of As Ever will lack quality. Only the best will do. When you got the entire world breathing down your neck, only the best will do. Yes, it was very rude. I thought it was very rude. But all of them were shady. Both of the guys were shady, but I think the one with the white shirt was particularly nasty. This is great. I'm surprised. By the way, this is from Kaiser from Celibacy. This is great. I'm surprised more Sussex-obsessed outlets with the time and resources aren't doing the same. I guess they find it more lucrative to just scream like banshees about every little thing Meghan does without any kind of context. Like, I'll admit, I had no idea that so many celebrities were doing rosé lines these days. The way people were carrying on, you'd think that Meghan was the first one. Anyway, it's great that so many wine experts loved As Ever. I'm sure they'll love her next offering too. And that is from Kaiser of Celibacy. What a couple of stinkers. Do you guys remember the reaction Kaiser had last time when, well, anyway, I'll share that with you in a minute. So we cannot leave out the notorious DJT, no, SJT, NTS, TSA. I can't remember. Anyway, one of the most eloquent speakers of the age, and I'm glad he's on our side. Let's see, Meghan Markle wine just humiliated the haters. Blind taste test. And right there in a blind taste test, Markle's As Ever Rosé beat out pink vinos from Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Cameron Diaz, Sarah J. Parker, Jessica Parker, and John and Jess Bon Jovi. This wine is good enough to be poured at Buckingham Palace, said Christian Bendeck, a certified sommelier from downtown Brooklyn. who was part of a panel of top New York wine experts the Post assembled for a tasting of celebrity wines. And one of the squatties, I did not care to identify her social media account. She said, now for the sommelier ratings, she said, number one, the lady, fair with notes of fruitiness. Number two, the suit guy, sour with a flat neutrality. And, and number three, tall guy, bitchy with a sharp hint of acidity. Don't you love that? Now that is a fantastic review. I love that review. See, this is why you don't mess with the squad. This is why you don't mess with the Sussex squad, because they will gather you. They will gather you. So again, the lady, she's number one, fair with notes of fruitiness. Number two, the suit guy, sour with a flat neutrality. And number three, the tall guy, bitchy, with a sharp hint of acidity. Perfection. That's right. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So again, y'all stop messing with the Sussex squad. The best way to stay off of our bad side is leave Meghan alone. Now, as for our friend here, let me tell you how excited he was about this development. Okay.
Let's make things crystal clear to the people who don't understand why I make the content I make.
Okay, that's the wrong one. Uh-oh, I hope I saved it. Oh, man, I don't think I did. Did I? Okay, I guess I didn't, but I can find it really fast. Okay, here it is.
Mocked the garden. And now you're choking on the wine. Let's talk about it. A blind taste test. No labels, no branding, no celebrity names. Just wine. Pure, unfiltered, and judged by professionals who actually know what quality tastes like. And when the scores were tallied, Meghan's As Ever Rosé came out on top. Better than Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's Chateau Miraval, Cameron Diaz's Aveline, Sarah Jessica Parker's In Vivo 10, John and Jess Bon Jovi's Hampton Water. And what else did the experts say? This wine is good enough to be poured in Buckingham Palace, said Christian Bendick, certified sommelier and one of several top New York City wine experts who were gathered by the New York Post. Read that again. Fit for the palace. The very palace who couldn't handle Meghan's presence now has to live with the fact that her taste, her product, and vision outrank every A-lister on that list. And now to the haters, the comment section peasants, the low-effort podcasters, the bootlickers with no palate and even less taste. You said she had no class, no taste, no talent. Your opinions aren't just irrelevant, they're embarrassing. You've spent years proving you don't know what excellence looks like. Now the wine world has confirmed it. This wasn't a PR stunt. This wasn't hype. This was taste. This was craft. This was a woman with vision, delivering something that silenced every mouth that tried to diminish her. Because Meghan doesn't create for clicks. She creates with care, with elegance, with intentionality. And the reason you'll never understand it is simple. You're not meant to. You don't belong in rooms she's building. You don't recognize quality because you've spent your whole life chasing status, not standards. You don't have the palate or the pedigree. So here's to Meghan, to taste, to triumph, and to every mouth that ran itself raw trying to drag her. You got outclassed by a bottle of wine. Drink on that. You mocked the jam. You mocked the garden. And now you're choking on the wine. Let's talk about it. A blind taste test. No labels, no branding.
Okay, I couldn't stop that fast enough. I think they got the message. I really do think they've got the message. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I love that for them. Now, as for the jam, also, they had a blind taste test for that. And of course, in spite of all of their nastiness, they all seem to favor the, as ever, raspberry spread. Now, I was going to share something about that, and I forgot what it was now. I said, okay, I'll do that later. Oh, well, slipped my mind. Never mind if it comes back to me. Yes, he takes no prisoners. Oh, notorious JTB. Thank you so much, Sonia Johnson. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so I'm sure you've heard this already. However, if you haven't, Meghan Markle, as they say at the People magazine, and Prince Harry had a duck emergency at Oprah Winfrey's house, and you have to hear it to believe it. Harry and Meghan went on a wild duck chase this past Easter. Now, let me share that with you. That came from a podcast with Kelly Ripa. Yeah, that was a podcast with Kelly Ripa. So you have to hear it to believe it. A lot of fun. Lots of fun. Fun to be had by all. It's like I'm waiting for the Benny Hill music to kick in.
Okay. So I get a call from Harry, Prince Harry, on Easter Saturday. And he says, "Oh, sorry to bother you, but we have a duck problem here. Some baby ducks, a duck had come into their yard and had laid the eggs and had these ducks, like 8 other chicks." And he says, our pond is a stream. We don't have a pond. So can we bring the ducks over to your pond? And I said, sure. But could you wait? Because Gail's grandkids were there. Kirby was there with her family. I said, wait until I can get the kids down to the pond to come to see you put the ducks in the pond. So he goes, no, we're coming right away. We're coming over. Okay. So we have the kids all waiting for the ducks to come to the pond. Harry pulls up and I say, no, the pond is that way. He opens the door. He goes, what? Which way? I go, pond is that way. And as he opens the door, the mama duck flies out and he's got all the baby ducks in a box. So he goes, oh no, the mama duck has flown away. Then we're chasing the mama duck who's in the front yard and has flown to the other side. We've got her ducks. Harry's running after, Meghan gets out, she's running after, chasing the mom and trying to get the mom to come back with her ducks. And for like a half an hour, we're running around with the ducks in the box and we're all, and we have video.
Stars, they're just like us. I mean, I would have been like,
they're going, where are the ducks? Where are the ducks?
The kids just want to see the ducks. Listen, those ducks also hit the jackpot. They're like, wait a minute. We show up at Prince Harry's house and now we're at Oprah's?
We're in Oprah's pond.
Yeah, that duck knew what it was doing when it leaped.
Yeah, so again, that was a podcast from Let's Talk Off Camera with Kelly Ripa. So I guess you could recall the incident. We didn't see things that were described by Oprah Winfrey, but we did see something. I'm going to share that with you right now. All right. And what did we see? We saw that image of Meghan with the ducks. Now it makes sense. Now it all makes sense. So let me put that over here for you. So there you go. And to think, when you see the way the tabloids responded to that, and of course the derangers, they thought it was something, contrived and made up or something like that, when the truth is they were actually trying to help the ducks by taking them from the stream to a pond where the water is still and they won't get washed downstream and all that kind of stuff. And that was just a portion of it that Meghan wanted to share with us, which just goes to prove once again that there's a lot of things that go on. The tabloids have no idea what the context is. They just make up something that will get lots of hate and clicks and so on. But otherwise, it was a very sweet story, and I appreciate Kelly Ripa and Oprah Winfrey sharing that with us. It is loaded with humanity. And this from yesterday, that of course is Shonda Rhimes. Let me see if I can share that with you. She also had a little fun with the Sussexes, Meghan in particular. So let me see if I could share that with you. There it is right there. Okay. All righty, coming up. Or is it? No, I did that wrong. Let me see here. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Every time I try to click on it, it moves. Let me try that one more time. Oh, there we go. Okay, just a little short thing there, but yeah, she says I should be writing, but I'd rather be playing Meghan Markle. In other words, she wished that she could find the time to do some of those domestic things that Meghan has perfected, such as the garden, and of course, grabbing the eggs from the Archie's chicken and those kind of things. So yeah, she's saying that she wished she had more time to do those kind of things. But unfortunately, she is very busy with her television productions. So, yeah, Shonda Rhimes is doing some amazing work. It's incredible the way that she has really taken over television the way that she has. Not exactly the variety of an Aaron Spelling, but just as impressive. Yeah, she reminds me a lot of Aaron Spelling because of some of the work that she's done, but her stuff is usually more serious. Aaron Spelling, of course, he did stuff like The Love Boat and Dynasty and all kind of sitcoms and everything. I believe he had a greater variety of types of television, but hers definitely in a league of its own. It's just incredible because you just don't see people that look like her in that world, and yet she is like probably the best thing that has come along to television in probably since Aaron Spellings. Absolutely. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that probably the best thing to come to television since Aaron Spelling. Okay. Well, coverage like that from the Daily Mail podcast described the episode as a case of real world trolling by Meghan and Harry fans, but that framing avoids the critical truth. This, of course, is from Feminagra. This was not random harassment. It was a visible, peaceful moment of accountability aimed at a journalist with a long and damaging history of racialized smears and misinformation about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. All of that is true. She has definitely positioned herself on the right wing of things, on the Brexit MAGA side of things. I mean, let's not forget, this is someone who belongs to the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation. They were literally strategizing what to do after the Oprah interview. They were fuming because of the Oprah interview. And they actually had a Zoom call thing, and she was one of the people on the panel. She is part of the Heritage Foundation, and I don't think you can get any more right-wing or as bigoted as that. In a very polite way, they use things like the courts and public shaming and humiliation whenever possible to make the world in their image. They really do. So if you're into all the MAGA stuff, if you're into all the Brexit stuff, if you have this fear of brown people or people of color, she's your girl. She's your girl. She's your standard bearer. Just one of many, of course. But yeah, I was surprised to see her there with the Heritage Foundation, but she fits like a hand to the glove. Camila Tomminy cried troll at Wimbledon, but her pattern of racialized reporting on Meghan is the real scandal. That is the real scandal. She wants to try to make this about something else and play the victim, but she is a dreadful, dreadful person. I mean, literally, they don't come much worse than her. And that's because of the fact that she hides behind her pen. She hides behind her newspaper. She says, oh, I was just doing my job. That's what she always says. I was just doing my job. Let's see. Let me find that article from Feminagra. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So yeah, when you guys, when you click on Feminagra, please allow their advertisement to play out, because that is how they make their revenue at Feminagra. So I'm waiting for this ad. It won't let me progress to the column until I get through this. So I patiently wait, and done. But yeah, they do some incredible work, so I don't mind. So it says here, when a woman sat behind Camila Tomminy at Wimbledon 2025 and posted about it on X, it sparked immediate backlash. Judy in the Richmond, a Sussex supporter, identified herself in a post and added that she had been blocked by Tomminy for previously calling her out, that is. Tomminy responded with a tweet and podcast episode accusing the woman of being a vile troll, shouting drunkenly and disrupting others in the crowd. She framed the incident as harassment, claiming the photo was taken to whip up support amongst fellow Sussex squatters. Yes, Sussex squatters. Okay. And let's see. Coverage like that from Daily T Podcast. Oh, that's the name of the podcast, Daily T. Describes the episode as a case of real-world trolling by Meghan and Harry fans, but that framing avoids the critical truth. And of course, that truth is that she is the one that is a troll. Let me show you a couple of things here. You see that? Take a look at that. Camila Tomminy has spent years fueling harmful narratives around Meghan Sussex. One of her most inflammatory pieces was a 2018 Telegraph article that linked the Hub Community Kitchen supported by Meghan after the Grenfell fire to terrorism. The headline framed the mosque where the women cooked as connected to 19 terror suspects, with no evidence linking the women themselves to any extremism. That article was later cited by white supremacist David Vance to claim Meghan was associated with terrorists. That's David Vance right there, of course. And pretty much the article noted that the women cooked in a kitchen that was attached to or next door to a mosque where it is suspected that known terrorists were a part of the mosque or had been to the mosque or associated in some way. In no way did it say the women had anything to do with terrorism, with the mosque, but it was just enough for the women to be threatened by nameless, faceless people in the public that went on social media and threatened them. These are moms, daughters, grandmothers, sisters, aunts. They are just there cooking for the community. She literally took something that was created for the victims of the survivors of the fire, the Grenfell fire, people who were staying in hotels and other emergency housing, so that they could eat their halal food, quality food, the food that they're accustomed to, without having to depend on fast food restaurants and other things. That was the point of the kitchen. Those ladies aren't running a restaurant. They were cooking for their neighbors, for their family. And Camila Tomminy goes to her keyboard and writes this dreadful article. And then this guy, you can see there, many thanks to Camila Tomminy for putting my Meghan Markle ISIS Mosque cookbook story on the front page of the Daily Telegraph. Did any of the Manar Mosque women pictured with Meghan, no terrorist kindergarten teacher, whatever his name is, Wahhabi, and her ISIS, executioner husband? He's asking, did they know? Did they even know those people? Did they know? Not they know, not that they were accused of anything. He's asking, after all of this, if you have to ask, it's not even worth the question. That just goes to show you how sinister that both David Vance and Camila Tomminy, that just goes to show how sinister they are, how evil, disrespectful, deliberately cruel. It had nothing to do with the women. It was a way to target Meghan. But she'll be the first to tell you that racism has never been an issue. She said that there was anti-Americanism with the institution, with the royal family, with the courtiers. This is what Camila Tomminy said in so many words. But I didn't see anything about race. Of course you didn't see it. You don't want to see it. Especially when people are accusing you of being part of it. So when you say that you're in it and not of it, I say you're both. You're in it and of it. And if there's anything about this that does not seem racist, then either you're lying or you're in denial, or both. This is why they got so upset with CBS when they were calling out the tabloids for being racist. It is the othering. When you other people, these women don't look like other women. I'll just say that. They don't look like other women. So they were made targets. They were made targets of a smear campaign. And some right-wing nut jobs believe that they somehow was associated with terrorism because of a connection that is so loose, they may as well be in another country. After 9/11, I had got a mysterious phone call. I still don't know where it came from. It was on a landline phone. And it was about my neighbor. I didn't know what his name was. I just saw him in passing. But his name was obviously, a Middle Eastern name. I'll just say that. And they asked me questions about him. And I'm like, I don't know him. And I said, who is this? And they just hung up the phone. Now, I don't know where that call came from. I'm pretty sure it was something official. And I'm sure I wasn't the only person in the building that they called. It was a weird thing. But definitely I didn't sit on the phone. Well, there was always this or that. We just, nodded each other in passing. And my point is that type of thing has a lot of innocent people pulled into something that has nothing to do with them. Now, whether or not I was under some kind of suspicion or something, I'll never know. That was, over 20 years ago. But God forbid somebody would write something and put it in the paper, and then all of a sudden my life is being threatened. God, this was, every time I think about this just makes me so angry. And then what about this? I wonder whether Meghan was conscious of the bias she showed in choosing 15 forces for change for the Vogue cover, all of whom were women, of which only 5 were white. Even the wording, all of whom, and then at the very tail end, throw in there only 5 of which were white. Interesting that she noticed how many people were women of color and how many people were not. If I was pale, male, and stale, I'd be feeling pretty discriminated against right now. But remember, she hadn't seen any racism where Meghan is concerned, just anti-Americanism. In 2019, Tomminy published a column criticizing Meghan's Vogue celebrating 15 forces of change. Meghan chose a majority of women of color. Tomminy accused her of excluding white women and wrote, "If I was pale, male, and stale, I'd be feeling pretty discriminated against right now." This quote is one of the clearest examples of her using the language of reverse racism to undermine Meghan's editorial intent. Tomminy has also been central to misinformation campaigns that damage the couple's reputation. She wrote the now debunked Meghan made Kate cry story. In Spare, Prince Harry confirms the opposite happened and that William may have leaked false version after dinner with Charles and Camilla. He writes the palace officials refused to correct the lie because it would embarrass Kate, the future queen. Her most famous story was fed by the palace and proven false. Despite mounting evidence, Tomminy defended her reporting. She claimed Kensington Palace never denied the story, so she believed it to be true. That logic, reporting rumor is as fact until proven otherwise, is not journalism. That is propaganda. Her words were weaponized by tabloids across the world, and when the truth emerged, she did not issue a retraction or an apology. Instead, she continued framing Meghan as calculating and divisive. And the public record shows it's not an isolated case. Her byline appears on headlines like "How Using Lilibet Became Harry and Meghan's Final Insult to Queen Elizabeth." That's the byline that was used, I guess, to accuse the Sussexes of elder abuse, right? That is one of the ploys of the tabloid media. Tomminy's reaction tells a different story. She accused the woman of being drunk, disruptive, and vile, but oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I missed part of that. Okay, receipts, resistance, and the real meaning of calling out. The woman who posted the Wimbledon photo did not yell, threaten, or approach Tomminy. She sat several rows behind her, snapped a single photo, and posted it on X with the note she was a Meghan and Harry fan, and Tomminy had previously blocked her. That was the extent of the interaction. Tominy's reaction tells a different story. She accused the woman of being drunk, disruptive, and vile. But there was no collaboration from others at the match. Instead, the photo virulently came from the receipt that accompanied it, years of headlines, quotes, and clips documenting Tominy's campaign against the Sussexes. And it has been a campaign against the Sussexes. Why accountability makes power uncomfortable, Tomminy has positioned herself as a journalist under siege. And isn't that what I said? Isn't that what I said some time ago? Is that it's usually a wealthy white man that always frames himself as being the victim. They play victim. They just can't seem to get a break. Especially the president of the United States. He cannot get a break. He has gotten away with almost everything under the sun, but he'll be the first person to tell you he can't get a break. But critics aren't just calling her names, they are showing her work. She has inserted herself into the royal narrative, appearing on the Telegraph. Oh, wait, where is that at? This one right here. Appearing on the Telegraph magazine cover alongside Harry and Meghan with the headline, Harry, Meghan, and Me. She has built a brand out of proximity, then cried foul when critics recognized the pattern. I mean, she has, right here with this photo, which I'm sure she had everything to do with it, she shows herself measuring eye to eye with Meghan, which is ridiculous because given the size of her head, there's no way that that she would be eye to eye with Meghan. She'd be looking over Meghan's head probably, given the size of her head, but I digress. Public figures cannot demand privacy in public spaces while publicly defaming others for profit. If a journalist publishes dozens of articles attacking a Black woman, then she should expect to be held accountable, especially when the record speaks louder than the photo. No evidence has emerged that anyone shouted at Camila Tomminy at Wimbledon, but plenty of people are still shouting back with the truth. Yeah, Camila Tomminy, she's a dreadful, awful person. And it's about time she gets her comeuppance. It's about time that somebody, tells her about herself publicly. And I think the lady was being too kind to her, if you ask me. All she said was, you probably wouldn't want to shake my hand because I'm a fan of Harry and Meghan's. That's all she told her. Yep, but it's time that she's called out. Look at there. And let me tell you this. You look at this photo, and I'm assuming that that's her husband. She said she was there with her husband. If someone was shouting at her, why isn't her husband turning around to defend her? If she was so hurt and so bothered, if this lady was so obnoxious and threatening, then how come her husband isn't reacting? I mean, she said the woman was drunk, right? Hey, aren't you Camila Tomminy? Do I recognize your big head? Your head is bigger in person than it is. I knew that. I know that big head anywhere. I said, look at that big head. I bet you that's Camila Tomminy. Don't her neck look tired? But instead, the guy seems to be just, sitting there like everybody else. Doesn't look like he's jumping up to defend her. There was no report of an incident at the Wimbledon. If she was drunk and shouting, I would imagine she would have been removed from Wimbledon. She better be glad I'm not anywhere near her, because, you know, I would pull out a measuring tape. You know that, don't you? I would, if I have to go and try to run and find a place to buy measuring tape, if I have to borrow it from the maintenance people or whatever, either that or just take my shoelace and just hold it up so I can measure it later, just to confirm in the flesh what looks so abundantly clear and obvious from a distance. The Heritage Foundation, of all things, she's a member of the Heritage Foundation. You just could not make that up. Let me see, where is that at?
Really rude and intrusive thing to do.
I was just chatting away with my husband and I heard this shout of Camilla. So I kind of obviously instinctively turned around. It's not a name you hear that often.
No.
And
Could be the Queen. But...
Could have been. And then I turned and I saw this lady. She was like, "Oh, I thought it was you." And I was like, "Oh, hi." And I kind of like lent out my hand to sort of greet her. She was on the row behind. And then she said, "Oh, I'm a Harry and Meghan fan, so I don't know if you'd want to shake my hand. And you blocked me on Twitter for calling you a something beginning with W."
Barclay banker. Yes.
That's it. So I went, "Oh, that's a bit objectionable." And so it kind of like slightly sort of ruined the beginning of me watching this match, because I thought,
Yes.
"God, there's hostility. I've got hostility towards me on my day off."
Yes.
And let's be honest, just for doing my job. And thought nothing more of it. And then returned home to discover that she had taken a photograph of me and then sort of put it on X with a view to kind of whip up support among her fellow Sussex squatters, which
Yes.
is the name we use to describe trolls who criticise people who aren't, you know, slavishly devoted to Harry and Meghan. And it kicked up a bit of a storm.
It did. I mean, there was a lot of support for you, because it, regardless of the politics of it, it's a really rude and intrusive thing to do.
I was just chatting away with my husband and I heard this shout of commit.
It's a really rude and intrusive thing to do. You want to know what was rude and intrusive, among other things? Like being on a panel of people trying to get Harry deported. That's rude and intrusive. Worrying about Harry's green card status. I would say that's rude and intrusive. Or how about the ladies at the Hub Kitchen? Having people threatening them and accusing them of being linked to terrorism. I would say that was rude and intrusive. Counting how many women of color are on a magazine cover. Rude and intrusive. Accusing Meghan of having made Kate cry. Helping Kate to weaponize her tears against a Black woman, which, of course, anyone who knows the history of Western civilization for the past 400 or 500 years knows exactly what a terrible thing that is. That's rude and intrusive. So the guy, of course, is playing right into this Camila Tomminy, the victim, when she is the one who time and time again is the aggressor. She's just one of several people who have taken up the cause not just against Meghan, not just against the Sussexes, but she is this right-wing asset. She's one of the gatekeepers. That's what she is. She's a gatekeeper. And unfortunately, so many white women who call themselves feminists, they're not really feminists in a traditional sense. They become gatekeepers. They're there to uplift and support people like a Boris Johnson, like a Donald Trump, like a Nigel Farage. They are there to lend support, to run block for them, to help with the pile on, to tear people down. And when that happens, who are you really helping? I mean, these are the people that when you go into the social media and you poke and prod around those social media accounts that belong to the derangers, just about anybody who supports Kate Middleton. And I'm not just talking about people who like Kate Middleton. I'm talking about the ones that are, these hardcore royalist, monarchist supporters. That institution has aligned itself with the right wing. And we know who's on that side of things. It's people like Camila Tomminy. And just like a lot of the men, she's very good at playing the victim. Someone's always misunderstanding and out to get her. Now, desperate royals tried to censor leaked king funeral plans. Really? What are those? Apparently, the guy Tobin and Andre, this is his WhatsApp. The Daily Beast has gotten a hold of this. Of all people, the Daily Beast has gotten a hold of this. Gotten a hold of what, pray tell, right? Well, let me try to make this bigger so I can see it. There we go. Now, and let's do this with the article, if you don't mind. Where is the Daily Beast? There it is. Okay. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. Yeah, I'm not looking for that. Sorry about that. Let me go back to where I'm supposed to be. Oh, sorry about that. I have just lost my place. Okay, Daily Beast. And go to Royals. There it is. All right, I got it down. All right, so it says Buckingham Palace top aide, or top aides, that is plural, are in a tailspin after leaked plans for death of King Charles made it into the media, sparking a huge censorship operation to contain the spill. The leak to the Daily Telegraph reveals details, including how Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that is, would be central to the current British monarch's funeral, something officials are actively planning as he battles cancer. It comes despite the public fracturing of the king's relationship with his younger son, who has been at loggerheads with brother William. Prince William will have become king by the time of Charles' funeral, right? Of course he would. Plans for the funeral, codenamed London Bridge, are the most sensitive of the royal secrets. Now, I thought it was Menai Bridge, right? Why is it London Bridge now? Meticulously planned by courtiers and ultimately overseen by the king himself. When the Telegraph published the revelations on the front page of his headline, Prince Harry and Meghan are at the heart of funeral plans, it was the first substantive insight British papers have given their readers into an event of world significance. So, okay, there is the WhatsApp of the aide that met with Harry's people, right? Okay, let me see here. That's what those are. Those are some screenshots. I mean, you can see that's been taken from somebody's cell phone. But as soon as it was published, courtiers began an extraordinary operation to stop any future reconciliation spreading, even though the Daily Beast can disclose that the leak originated from Buckingham Palace planning operation. Insiders say the remarkable episode offers an insight into the kind of iron fist and a velvet glove activities that take place behind the curtains of British royal family as it seeks to control the narrative around the institution. Multiple sources have told the Daily Beast that the king's most senior spin doctor, Tobin Andre, had a meltdown on the phone to editors at the Telegraph by reliably pro-monarchy publication about the London Bridge story. These new details about London Bridge include that Harry and Meghan will be invited for central roles, that the mourning period will be shortened, had found their way to the Telegraph exclusively, said a well-placed Fleet Street source. So that is coming from a very well-placed Fleet Street source. Say that 3 times fast. Fleet Street source, Fleet Street source, Fleet Street source. There was a conversation with the Palace communication team ahead of publication. Tobin Andre was very, very unhappy. He was involved directly and lobbied the Telegraph for more than 24 hours to try to influence the timing and terms of publication, but explained a second source, a senior journalist with knowledge of the situation, his editors did not wish to be controlled. That went down badly with Andre, who was very resistant to the publication. The source said there was a heated phone call. In the end, the view was taken that the paper needed to protect its editorial independence. Wow, they got a spine finally. And it decided to publish its scoop when it wanted to, which was from Tobin Andre's point of view was premature. It was then, however, that censorship operations swung into action according to a source who said Andre tried to contain the spill. Andre used a WhatsApp text message group with other journalists who cover the royal family for the British newspaper and television networks, a group known as the Royal Rota, to trash the Telegraph story and say there would be consequences for any outlet that used the information. So he allegedly tells the Royal Rota to trash the article. Gaslight. And what Andre described as a gentle advisory message to the group, which has around 15 members. The whole international Rota group, which has around 30, he wrote. So there's 15 members, and the International Rota has about 30. He wrote, while we won't be drawn onto details or accuracy of the claim, the bridge plans are not yet finalized, and there is no active planning underway outside of the entirely routine business you will be familiar with take place for all family members. Speculation about demise planning is deeply distasteful in normal circumstances, but downright offensive given that His Majesty the King is living with cancer, continuing with treatment, and doing extremely well on it, as it will all have seen from the past week and months. So, all right. So there you got these text messages from, and you can see right there, it says Tobin Andre, Royal Rota. These are directives from the palace. Directives. Do this or else. As we head into the weekend, a gentle advisory in operational background only and not for reporting in any form. As some of you may become aware, a publication has this evening published supposed details of His Majesty the King's bridge plan. While we won't be drawn on the details or accuracy of the claim, the bridge plans are not yet finalized, and there is no active planning underway outside of the entirely routine business you will all be familiar with takes place for all family members. Can we therefore remind all media that speculation about demise planning is deeply distasteful in normal circumstances, but downright offensive given His Majesty the King is living with cancer, continuing with treatment, and doing extremely well on top of it, as you will all have seen from the past weeks and months. This sort of article is therefore unconscionable, no matter how sensitively framed. It is also a breach of the clear understanding that in order for us to be able to assist media with operational planning, royal reporters do not write speculative pieces about bridges planning, whatever the source. I mean, this is a flipping order. On that basis, please make sure, please make your desk and editors aware that those publications, networks, outlets that follow this story or carry such reports of their own are unlikely to receive assistance on Bridges briefing, regardless of the platform it appears on or the byline on the article. This helps us work with trusted partners In the spirit of mutual support and openness, thank you for your understanding and hopefully sensitivity. Oh, and P.S., but it's all over Twitter, clickbait.com, etc., is not the excuse or justification some may hope. What y'all think of that? What y'all think of that? Oh, by the way, this is the last thing I have for today. So just so you know, after this, I'm done. This is the very last slide for today. But yeah, it's all about the bridge. It's all about the bridge. And so the Daily Beast somehow found out that the Sussexes, I mean, I didn't know whether or not to believe that, but if it's soliciting this type of response, but then again, you know, they're as slippery as an eel. This could be the old bait and switch. They could have leaked that information just to make people think that the Sussexes are welcome or that the Sussexes are being considered for something, when all along it could just be a plant. They could have planted that story. It may not necessarily be any truth to it. This may all be a clever ruse. You never know. I can only say I will believe it when I see it. Action speaks louder than words. So just because they say it doesn't mean that it's true. And just because they say it was leaked or stolen, or that may be part of the manipulation, you can't trust those people. You cannot trust those people. You never know what the truth is. And also, things change. And of course, by the time the bridge falls, William will be king. He can change whatever he wants to. Remember, the Queen was supposed to return to London from Scotland by train when she died. That was part of the plan. But did that happen? No. They took her back on a military transport because they wanted to. They just didn't feel like being bothered with the train, so they didn't bother with the train. But that was part of the plan for years. If Queen Elizabeth dies in Scotland, she would have this ceremonial train ride back to London. But that did not happen because they changed their mind. It certainly wasn't the weather. Thank you, Marshar. Marshar, where have you been? I haven't seen you for a while. But yeah, it's true. Unless it comes from Harry and Meghan, don't believe any of it. Yeah, I will take it with a grain of salt because you can't trust those people. This could be part of the okie doke. But whatever it is or isn't, I'm going to man my business. So once again, you guys, let me see, where is that at? Let me take this out the way. If you need to address anything to Royal Sussex, you can just put Royal Sussex, 1440 West Taylor Street. Very crucial. Number 523, hashtag 523, and that's Chicago, Illinois, 60607. And feel free to go ahead and look at the, what is it, the Google Earth or whatever. It is a business address. I don't live there. So if you're coming over in just a raincoat and a smile and maybe a bottle of cheap malt liquor in your pocket, the people at that place would be very surprised to see you. and they'll probably call the popo. But yeah, there you go. Yes, if you have some kind of cheap wine or something like that, a raincoat, some Payless mules, and that provocative look in your eye, sorry, I'm not there. Yeah, I'm not there. Want to send a postcard from your next vacation? Use that address. Oh, you're talking about that occupant of the White House. The occupant of the White House, yeah. New York. New York, 433 Prospect Place, New York, New York. 1313 Mockingbird Lane, New York City. Hey, M. Gromley, I haven't seen you for a while either. I will be in the chat. I would miss this family too much. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen you for a minute. Yeah, they did their best to come for Meghan's wine, but it's actually very good. You had some professionals. It seems like the taste is very complex. That one old queen in the white shirt seemed to believe it had the flavor. He's like, there's a hint of coconut. I wouldn't be surprised if there's coconut in this wine. Well, the thing about wine is you can grow grapes on one side of the road, and you can grow the same grapes on the other side of the road. And based on the type of soil and other things, whether or not there's more sunlight or, it's all kind of factors. The wine on one side of the road could taste one way, and the wine on the other side could taste another way. You find so many hints of flavor with the production of wine. So for Meghan to come up with a blend that is this perfect, taking wine source from here or there, or however they come up with that. I mean, it's in batches, and you just kind of, I guess, search for that perfect balance, right? And sometimes if you do it right, it could be something extraordinary. Also, there's some great wine that comes out of California. And for a long time, Italy and France, they really used to look down their nose at American wine. And that is until one of the wines from California kicked their butt at a wine tasting. They were outraged. They thought for certain that this wine could not be from California. That's impossible. But it was. So they've gotten to be quite good at it. Let me see here. Okay. Well, if that's it, you guys, I'm going to say good night. And please keep all of the squatties in your prayer, especially those that are going through treatment for cancer right now. That can be a very, very stressful part of anybody's life. And of course, those that care for them. I had an aunt years ago that had cancer, and I went to go and stay with her for a while, and I took her to her appointments and such. And I would usually take that time to go and do some shopping and such while she was going through her chemotherapy. But yeah, it can be a very lonely time for anyone going through treatment, and very stressful, very emotional. And so your prayers and, just spending time is so important. It's one of those things that affects almost every family at some point or the other, uh, especially as people live longer. It affects so many families. And the thing, too, that we have to remember is that treatment has advanced a lot since I was a kid. And, it's not the scary thing that it used to be, but still it is scary. And I applaud anybody who's going through treatment, because I think anyone who's going through treatment, there's some of the bravest people. I watched my grandmother go through treatment, and even after her mastectomy, she took us to Disney World and Disneyland. I remember that. And of course, she wore the sleeve because I think it was her left arm, she had the swelling, because I guess they take the lymph node or whatever, and that causes the swelling. But it's amazing how active she was in spite of everything. I just remember how inspired I was by the spirit that she had to do so much. So, yeah, anyone who goes through something like that is a hero to me. Okay. Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Sometimes I think I would watch Oprah and take a nap in the waiting room. That was another thing. Sometimes I would just take a nap. Yeah, a lot of us have to, at some point, we have to become a parent to our parents, right? Hello, Zabeda. Thank you so much for, there we go. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for your comment. Well, did you hear that one guy say, I wonder how much input they actually put into what goes in the bottle? How much input actually does a celebrity have over what goes into the bottle? Well, celebrities drink wine too. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a sommelier, but I know when I really enjoy a good wine. I had a wine, I think it was it Fonterra? Fonterra wine or something like that. And it was so good. I went to a Christmas party and I ended up buying a bottle after that because I enjoyed it so much. Fonterra wine. Yeah, that's it. Frontera. See there, all this time, and I still remember the name of it. It's a good wine. Though I thought the label looked different from this, but I think that's right. But yeah, it was delicious. I just like, wow, what kind of wine is this? And I was like, may I have another glass? One more? Well, yeah, it was great. Let me see. What's that? It's 400 tons of apricots sitting ripe on trees in Central Valley, which the grower is trying to sell because the buyer she had sold their business. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that Charles and Kate, I think they should just tell people what kind of cancer they have. I think they should just say. I mean, they're public figures. They're living off the public purse. They should just say what it is, because at least that way they could help better inform people. They could use their platform to help a lot of people. That's weird that they don't want to say what it is. It's just like the way they accuse the Sussexes. Oh, you only want to share what you want to share, but you don't want to, however they say it. Well, that should go with the rest of the family, because I tell you, Will and Kate have been some of the most private public people ever. They share the good bits, they share the parts that make them look important, but in other parts, they're very guarded with their privacy. And they applaud Will and Kate for being so meticulous about how they share things. But the Sussexes, they accuse them of having a double standard, trying to have their cake and eat it. God, I used to cringe when I would hear that. And all the other stuff they accused them of. But they give a free pass to those two misfits in Kensington Palace. Oh, it's called Fancer. I get that one. Okay. Well, I used to buy a lot of the $3 chuck, or what is it, $4 chuck. I don't know how much it costs now, but the Trader Joe's, I used to buy their wine all the time. They used to call it what, the $3 chuck, because it was like $3 a bottle. I think one of their Trader Joe's wines that did rather well once upon a time. I don't know what it's like now, but let me see. Trader Joe wine wins contest. Did that happen? Oh, it used to call it $2 chuck, stuns and double. Okay, stuns with a double gold medal. Now that was some time ago. That was when did that happen? 2007. Sure enough, Charles Shaw, the winery most wine snobs love to hate, has won the top prize in judging at the 2007 California State Fair commercial wine competition, beating out hundreds of other wines, all of them likely costing more than $1.99 a bottle at Trader Joe's. Okay, California's best Chardonnay cost less than $3. Okay, well, there you go. Dead last, but second to last. Let me see. She ranked the $2 Chuck dead last, but second to last was a bottle that sold for more than $120. This is, I think this is for another contest. You know, and another thing that can affect any wine, they even warned with As Ever, don't leave it in the sun. When you get things delivered during the summer months, sometimes you can't control how much heat it. Remember, I went to this one shop where they had the wine next to a cooler. No, not next to a cooler, next to a to the little hot food counter. And I'm like, that is so crazy. Won't the heat affect the wine? But they got the cases of wine for sale by the place where all the hot food is located. And I thought that was nuts. I think I said something about it to the manager, and I go back in there, it was still sitting there. Now imagine that, a wine being exposed to that kind of heat in the supermarket. I'm sure that it affected the taste. Okay, love you guys. I will. Oh, what is this, Diane Hawkins? What happened? Oh, okay. Let me go back a little bit. Oh, that's what you're saying. I received my As Ever wine shipment, 3 bottles only so far. Today I am savoring the idea of having received something from Duchess Meghan thus far. Just admiring FedEx. You're just looking at the box? Well, good for you. I'm so happy you got it. I do. Let me see. When is mine supposed to come? I got to check again. Yeah, I intend to find a nice place just to sit my bottle. Maybe I'll sit it on the coffee table. I'll decorate with it. That's what I'll do. I'll sit a bottle out just to decorate with it, just so I can see it every time I go by. And maybe I'll put a LED light behind it so I can see that nice kind of pale pink color that it has, that salmon color. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I got to get some brie. Yeah, I got to get some brie. I'm going to make my charcuterie board. But I'm not going to drink too much. I'm only enough that this will stop looking like that and look more like this, right? Actually, you know what I mean. uh, yeah, so I could take the edge off of that. Yeah, that's gonna be me when my whenever my as ever arrive. Just pop that bottle open. Are you not gonna open it? You're just gonna save it? Nothing wrong with that. I want whatever as ever stuff I can get. I didn't manage to get any of the teas, but I want to get some teas next time. Oh, okay. Okay, I have to make sure I do something about that. Hope I don't forget though. uh Yeah, oh, you know what? If you guys want to see that wooden box that I mentioned, is on the Meghan's Instagram, the wooden box that the wine came in. Oh, wow. Who is this? They just put their wine inside of a Hermes bag. Did they get a Hermes bag too? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's another there's someone else's video. I'm like, they got a Hermes bag? I'm sorry, that's not the same thing. It jumped to the next thing. I didn't even notice it. Okay, love you guys. Good night. I will see you all next time. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a nice thing to do. I'm gifting one for a couple anniversary, keeping one as a keepsake, and sharing the other with a few friends. Okay. That's very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow, it's 11:59, almost midnight. Oh, there it is. It's midnight. Okay, see you guys.